Now we turn our attention to Republican presidential candidate Senator John McCain's plan for health care reform. Nancy Pfotenhauer is a senior advisor for Senator John McCain's campaign. She joins us right now from McCain campaign headquarters in Arlington, Virginia. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Alexis.
So let me get your reaction to that NAIC, which is the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, report about the 22% of American consumers who basically say they're going to the doctor less because the economy is really hurting them. What is your initial response to that survey?
Well, I think all Americans are struggling over increased prices across the board because of issues with energy, overall economic growth, but also because health care costs grow at a rate faster than other costs because the current system does not have enough consumer feedback, if you will, because the customers are seen primarily as employers rather than the individuals who are being served. And that's why Senator McCain's approach puts families in charge, if you will, has families viewed as the customer, so there can be direct and immediate feedback to cost care providers, and increases competition among insurance agencies across state lines in order to bring down costs. I have to disagree with your former guest, because I believe that Senator Obama's plan does nothing but shift costs, does nothing to control costs whatsoever, and in fact is filled with mandates that will cost jobs. So you'll either not have a job and therefore not have insurance, health insurance because of it, or if you stay employed, if you're lucky enough to stay employed with the increased costs and the mandates that are pushed on employers through this, if you're lucky enough to stay employed, his plan will push everybody towards the federal system. So we'll end up with a single-payer system.
All right, Nancy, but let me bring up 2 points here about Senator McCain's plan, because you were basically just talking about the guaranteed access plan, which is really on a state-by-state basis, but also there's also talk about giving American families a $5,000 tax credit to basically offset those insurance costs. Are you, in essence, I guess, redistributing some of the responsibility or the funding onto the states or onto the individual as opposed to the employer? Explain that one to me.
Well, there are two different pieces to the plan. Well, there are more than two, but the two that you've articulated. The first is a $5,000 refundable tax credit for all families, or $2,500 per individual, for the purpose of purchasing health insurance. If you like getting your health insurance through your employer and you're comfortable staying in that system, then stay in that system. Otherwise, this puts you in charge, and for reasons of portability and security and just being able to be in charge, if you will, you might decide that you want to go out and go into the individual market. That's why increasing competition among insurance companies and bringing those costs down and increasing options is so important. Separate from that is the Guaranteed Access Plan, and that's designed to help individuals who, because of pre-existing conditions, even if you gave them a refundable tax credit, would have a difficult time accessing affordable health insurance, particularly low-income people who have these pre-existing conditions. And that's where the GAP, or Guaranteed Access Plan, comes into place.
Okay.
And we think this... Go ahead.
So, Nancy, so who foots the bill?
Well, our plan is budget neutral over 10 years. And I might point out that Jonathan Gruber, who's an MIT professor who specializes in this, has costed the Obama plan conservatively at $110 billion a year. And that's only insuring about 20 million of the uninsured, 22 million of the uninsured. We insure 30 million approximately, and we're budget neutral over 10. And recent estimates, if you were to go to full coverage like Obama says his plan is designed to do, at the rate of at the $12,000 per family mandate coverage that he's mandated, you're at the tune of $470 billion in increased costs per year. That is mountainous, and you get with it a federal bureaucracy. Now, the only thing worse than dealing with your insurance company would be dealing with your insurance company and the federal government. Okay, it's as a mom, that just strikes me as insurmountable.
Okay, Nancy, let me ask you this. There is a lot of talk from both camps that it appears as though there's pretty much a similar agreement on this about the reimportation of drugs, and secondly, about the support of generic drugs. Tell me more about Senator McCain's thoughts on those two areas.
We just believe that it's a very sensible way to try to lower costs and make sure that people can get the prescriptions that they need when they need them. And obviously, the goal here is to ensure high quality care at a low cost for all Americans. And like I said, our plan tries to reach everyone, including individuals with pre-existing conditions who are low income, who may need extra help, and therefore we want to work with states to create these guaranteed access plans. And we know that that may cost us about $20 billion a year, but we want to do it to make sure those people are taken care of.
All right, Nancy Pfotenhauer, thank you so much for joining me again this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Alexa.